Satnam, free people. I'm out here on this lovely Sunday afternoon, just absorbing all of the free, natural energy of the sun and breathing the air in all of its abundance. And you know what I want to talk about today is how you are your own doctor and your own nutritionist. So yesterday in a fasting group on Facebook, somebody was asking about salt and saying how, well, you know, some people say that you need salt and some people say that you don't, and he can't figure out which one is correct. And I said to him, well, when you're fasting, you're going to experience whether you do well with salt or not. And this isn't something you can do when you're not fasting. What people don't understand, because this is so ingrained into our culture, it may be the thing that's most deeply ingrained in our culture, is eating constantly and eating regularly and eating excessively. When you fast, you have a clean slate. Your insulin isn't spiked, your hormones aren't messed up. So once you have your body in a clean state, you'll actually be able to experience how you feel. You can't do this unless you're fasted, because you've been living such a life of excess. You're constantly having cravings for sugar or salt, or in looking outside of yourself for something you need, which your body doesn't actually need. It's just a craving and it's an addiction. Now, this is something that I try to put into words, but you can't really understand until you've fasted. Then you get it because you experience it for yourself. But now this guy he loved my advice. He was like, that makes so much sense. So, because we are our own doctors and our own nutritionists, nobody else is meant to be. All of our bodies are so different from one another. You know, there's so much stuff out there. I was talking to my friend when I first started fasting, and she was brushing me off a little bit with the fasting thing and saying, you know, there's so much stuff out there. Some people say you should eat carbs, some say you shouldn't. Some people say you should eat meat, some people say you shouldn't. Some people say you should eat first thing in the morning, some people say you should wait. It's crazy. There's tons of information out there. And the question is, how do these people come up with this information? Who are they testing? Well, considering 99% of people are unhealthy and overweight, I'm going to assume that they're testing those people. So those results aren't going to be very relevant to us. And also, everybody's body is different. Now, for example, I've tried going vegan several different times, and it does not work for me. I do not feel good. I do not feel healthy when I eat vegan. Now, that being said, I was reading a book last night, an old, obscure book about fasting, and the author listed about 7 different people who lived to be upwards of 130. One person was noted to have been seen at 202 years old. This is by living a life of extreme moderation. I don't want to say extreme moderation, not excess, okay? Now, this particular author said that all of these people were vegan, and vegetarian, and all of these people ate only a few different foods. For example, this one guy who lived to be 147 ate dates and water. dates and water every single day. He just ate the foods that he knew agreed with his stomach. So, because I was unhealthy before, that may be the reason that I wasn't able to eat vegan. So, I will probably give that a try again to see how my body actually is with no meat and no dairy and stuff. So, I just want to say that a doctor is there as a worst case scenario, and a doctor is there A, because of money in industry, but B, because you're so out of touch with yourself. Now, this guy who lived to be 147, and mind you, he didn't die of disease or unhealth. He died from an accident, so who knows how long he could have lived. But at the age of 40, he was extremely sick. And then he started this lifestyle, and he never saw another doctor again for the rest of his life. He took care of his own health. That's the way it's meant to be, because nobody can tell you about your health. Nobody can tell you about your health. Unless you get into a car accident, then you go to a doctor and get stitched up. They know what they're doing. But as far as your diet goes, and diet is number one. And why do we even need to fast? Well, if you were eating a diet of extreme moderation and you were eating very small amounts of food, you wouldn't have to fast. But because we live such lives of excess, we have to reset. We have to counterbalance that with the stark opposite so that our bodies can reset. So I hope this has inspired you to take charge of your own health, and I'm going to go ahead and say that fasting is the only way to do so, because your body's saying that you need ashwagandha or oregano oil. I wouldn't trust that. Or garlic, I wouldn't trust that. Or meat, I wouldn't trust that. Allow your body to reset so then it can actually speak the truth to you and you can actually understand it, because when you're not in a clean state, what you're actually feeling is withdrawals and addictions when your body is calling for something. It's probably parasites and high blood sugar and things like this. So have an excellent day. Thank you for watching. I'm so glad that you're interested in fasting. Comment if you have any questions or if you plan on starting fasting. I love to hear when people are inspired to start fasting. It's like the most exciting thing to me. Have an awesome day.